Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I'm going to be talking about the Xbox Series X today. I'm going to unbox it and I'm going to give my first impression based on the console. We're going to look to load a game to see how the load times are, and also I'll give you a bit of a spec overview and is the purchase worth it or not. Still then, let's have a look and dive straight into the video. It's time for the unboxing. Hello, so we're now going to get into the unboxing of the Xbox Series X. This is something I've been waiting for quite a while since I put the pre-order in, and my bank account has taken a hit from it. So let's get into it. So in terms of the actual box size, it's actually quite a... It's a big box, but it's not as big as I thought. When you look at it, really. So let's get into it. So the box just opens like so. Inside the box itself is the actual Xbox, which is the size. If I have a look there. It's not as big as I thought, as what was advertised, but it's got Power Your Dreams. Really nice. I love the marketing from Xbox in terms of the actual console itself. Let's get the actual console out, and there it is. That would be what it would be. The unboxing is pretty much done. The controller is a really nice grip. To the Xbox itself, a really nice grip to the outside in terms of where you hold your hands. The D-pad's a really nice feel as well, and the buttons are just standard. The power supply is very different to the Xbox One. We'll get into that as well. Literally just a cord this year, what it seems like. There's no big power supply, which is fantastic, because I'll show you why a power supply can be a little bit annoying for the Xbox One. A standard 4K ultra high-speed HDMI lead. I think that is probably, the way it's coiled, 1.5 meters, something like that. Which again would be a good distance between your Xbox and your monitor, what you would use anyway. Moving on then. I've done this on purpose, so you can see how dusty my Xbox One is, and that is just literally the use of it. But in terms of the size, you can see how big it is compared to the Xbox Series X, which I'm not going to, but you can physically put the Xbox X on top of the Series X, and it will just be a quarter of the size. So the size is different, which you can see from comparison straight away. So that makes it a really interesting solution, I think, as well, in terms of space on desks and things, so which is where I have my Xbox. Let me show you the power supply from the Xbox One. Anyway, you can see that is a brick. That is actually a brick. In terms of the size of the Xbox X, yes, it's a little bit less. I've just put dust on my new console. Great one, James. But it's a brick, and to have that on the desk is just takes up space. So to completely lose all of this and just go to a simple solution of that into the console is a great move from Xbox. I'm now going to load up Xbox X for the first time and see my reaction, see how it is, etc. More importantly as well, I'm going to do a test. I've opened 2 games on my previous Xbox One, and this is prior to the Xbox One X. The Series X is basically loading up FIFA 20 and GTA 5, and we're just going to see which one's the load time and which one's a little bit faster, and that shows exactly what the spec of the Xbox Series X really has over the Xbox One, for some people that really don't quite know the difference between the two. But it's the Xbox Series X that I have. Let's see it all load up. So as you can see, I'm currently going onto the Xbox app on my phone, which you can download from the App Store, from iOS or Android devices. So the difference this year with the Xbox is the fact that the Xbox One uses the interface sign-in as the app. So as you can see on my screen now, I'm going through the app and I'm connecting up the Xbox, connected to Wi-Fi, updating it, etc. That I think is a really good selling point for the Xbox, in the fact that it all goes straight through the app, and it means you don't have to faff around with signing in on the console. As you can see on my screen. The Xbox is actually updating, so we'll be back to you when the Xbox will be up with the interface. So now it's asking me to sync up my Xbox controller. Nice little interface here. Press and hold turn on the controller, so I'll do that now. Would help if I put batteries in. Let me do that. Go now. Press A. Let's update the controller. And now the controller needs updated. I'll be back after the controller updates. What I've also realised, if you have the Elgato HD 60S, that won't work for 4K content on the new Xbox Series X. You need to have the HD 60S Plus. So, along with the console comes a lot in terms of pricing. You've got to think of a new monitor, you've got to think of any HDMI 4K cables, you need to think of a brand new Elgato, especially if I stream something like this. So there's a lot of money involved, but that's the process of buying a new console. So as you can see, updated. Let's go next and see if we can have a look at, for the first time, the Xbox interface. And because I've signed in on my Xbox phone app, they're just settings and things, it means that I can simply go straight through. So let's go, take me home. Bang, there we go. This is the brand new Xbox X interface. Now you think, this is just Xbox One. And really it is. This is the Xbox One interface. They're exactly the same kind of update. Nothing really in terms of internal, but it's actually the spec involved. Let's try one of the games then. Let's see if we can see GTA and time it and see how quick it is to load into story mode compared to the Xbox One. Stop right there. You'll see now that there's a little bit of a fast recording right now. Basically, I was trying to load GTA on the Xbox, and I didn't realise that Xbox themselves announced that GTA 5 wouldn't work on the disc. It would only work on digital download, and then you'd have to wait for the Xbox X to release the GTA 5 Xbox X version. So, I'm now loading FIFA 21 on the Xbox Series X and seeing how quick it is compared to the Xbox One. GTA I'm having a little bit of problems with in terms of installation. I know GTA is a long game in terms of install, but also in the fact of getting the disc onto the Xbox X seems to be a little bit of a problem at the moment. In terms of loading games, this is my first time loading one game, and I'm going to try and put it side by side to the Xbox One so you can see sports in the game. In terms of the speed, the difference in terms of loading. I normally play FIFA every day, so that seems quite quick to me in terms of loading it up. Obviously it's syncing a little bit of data, which you more normally would do for a new start game and also a new console, so you can kind of understand that. But in terms of the loading and the syncing of the data as well as going really quick, it is something in terms of the difference as well. So now I want to say that I don't have a 4K monitor at the moment, and I don't have a 4K Elgato, so I can't exactly quite show you all its glory in 4K. But there we go, FIFA's now loaded, and there we go, we are away. But in terms of my first instincts of the console, if you like, it seems pretty good. Of HDMI, HD, full HD, 1080p compatibility at the moment. So I need a new Elgato and a new 4K monitor to really stream in the 4K and really show what the console is all about. But in terms of future, in terms of size, in terms of quickness, it's a thumbs up from me, Xbox. In terms of my other games, my digital downloads, so UFC 4, for example, getting your game ready, this might take a minute or two. I'm into it straight away. So a lot of the internal digital games really work well, but it seems like the disc ones, which I don't have many, it's just GTA, is having a little bit of problem at the moment. As Ample PGA Tour, bang, straight into it, loading. So the games seem quite quick and easy to load. I stream on twitch.tv/iZentrix if you want to see more of the console in action in terms of me playing FIFA. I'll stream some other games as well on Twitch if you need to. But if you liked this video, feel free to put a like and subscribe to my rest of my content that I have. But yeah, in terms of the Series X itself, really good impression so far, really strong. So I'm looking forward to really diving in and playing more of the console, and then hopefully maybe I'll be able to review it a lot more. But in terms of an unboxing, first glimpse of it, and the loading of FIFA, it's pretty darn good, and I'm very happy with it. So that was more about the Xbox and how it operates. I'm now going to quickly dive into the spec based on the Xbox X versus the Xbox S. The Xbox S is the one console you see on the right. It's the smaller version. It's the no disk drive version, and it is basically you can buy the Xbox all digital games would all load on it compared to the Xbox X, which has obviously the disk drive for disc games. The 1TB storage of the Xbox X compared to the 512 storage of the Xbox S, the expandable storage on both as well, which can be done. And then optimize up to 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray for the Xbox X compared to the Xbox S. And finally, the pricing, Xbox X at $449 and the Xbox S at $249 UK. So yeah, feel free to get your consoles now. So yeah, that has been the Xbox Series X unboxing, review, and first impressions. If you have enjoyed, feel free to like and comment to show your support. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.